This is a quick tutorial on how to create a PO, and this is not intended to be a public video. This is just for you, Steve, Dave, and whoever else inside of Avista. So the first thing I did, this is in production, I created a fake vendor. I put a Z in front of it to make it drop to the bottom of the list. I used an existing plan, which was the Aviator, in cost code 30107, which only has one item on it. And I created a fake project that also begins with a Z. And we're going to put a PO out for that cost code for this project. So the first thing that we needed to do was go into Vendor Manager on my fake vendor and make sure that I can find it easily because it starts with a Z. I looked in the Plan Manager and found out that we only had this one product on the cost code 30107. So I added that product to this vendor. I put in a fake price of $25. These other things are really important. I put pricing through the end of the year so that in purchasing it'll think the pricing's good. Obviously, if that was pricing prior to today, the pricing would not be good, and I would not be able to use this vendor to send a PO to. And again, almost all this stuff should be review, I think. I put myself as the contact with my email and my cell phone. We're not going to do the price requesting this morning. This is just showing how to send a PO. And until I get back from vacation, I would not recommend you try to use the price requesting with a vendor just in case something goes wrong. I'd like to be there. I just put the pricing in right through the vendor page. Anyway, so the key things are price through date, pick a tax rate, and then there's the regions. Make sure that the vendor is in the same region as the project. So I'm going to choose Tampa and St. Pete. So with this setup, this vendor is ready to sell this one product, but that's all we need on today, the middle of June, end of June, to a project that's in the Tampa or St. Pete region. Okay, those are all the key things that are going to qualify me as a vendor. If you go to do POs and you're not getting the vendor in the list to pick that you want, you got to make sure that your pricing is current, you're in the proper region, you're going to want to set up tax. Steve knows how to set up tax rates. What else? Region. Oh, all the items that are needed on that PO with a price. The other thing you need to do is go into Plan Manager and make sure that for the cost code you're working on, it's approved over here. If that's all in place, when you come to purchasing and you pick your project and you go to that stage, you notice one's ready to go. That's 30107. That's the only one I've got, but I kind of managed it to be that way. So here's what you do. You go to your project, you click your stage that you want to create the PO for. Remember, we queued up vendors, so we know we have one vendor ready to go. You hit create stage 3 PO. The only one that's ready is going to be in the list. We're going to pick that. Yeah, I want to create it. So here I am on it. Notice it says there's one vendor available. You could show candidate vendors, not sure what's going to be there, but you can see here's all the other ones. Need to have products added and pricing and the whole rigmarole for them, but let's come back to that later. We've got the vendor that we wanted, so we're going to pick that vendor. So here's my price. I made it $25. You don't see tax yet. You could do a preview of it. So again, I'm just going to stop and review. I clicked stage 3. I don't know what that little arrow is for. You can just click OK on it. I hit create it. We went to it. I picked this vendor. It brought up this vendor's pricing. I can preview it right here. You can see all this stuff came from the projects. 50 at 25 is this price. We had chosen, I think, an 8% tax rate for this vendor. Remember back on the vendor page, we chose what tax rate they should go by. So that's the preview. Now to get that thing out to the vendor, which we had my email address, you release it. It's a two-step process. Once it's released, then you can issue it. Choose a delivery date. Okay, forgot about that. Issue, and it's going to go through a big rigmarole. And that thing has just been emailed to me. Now, I did this once earlier this morning. So when I go into PO issue history, I guess I did delete off that PO I did this morning. I shouldn't even have mentioned it. So here's the history. I released it right now, and then I issued it. And here's the name of the PDF file. You can actually have a look at it right here if you want. It looks just like that preview did. And then over in my email inbox, you can see, and I said I did one a little while ago as a test, so there's two of them in there. So here it is. Avista Homes, who sent you this. There's no cover note or anything. We need to get something in there, but here's the PO. All right, so that's how you do it. If you want to claw it back, you can unlock it. Steve knows the secret word. Now that it's unlocked, this will work. Oops, wrong tax rate. Then you go fix the tax rate, and then you can issue it again. So now I'm going to figure out how to turn off this video. Here we go.